All right, so you can see here, we've got all of this pulverized rock. Some of them are refrigerator size, all the way down to small pebbles. They're very angular, right? Does this look like it's been worn down by water or glaciers? You can talk, you guys. Add in. Right?
No.
There's a lot of rock.
This is
right?
a you only type of show.
Super blocky rock. So where did it all come from?
It fell.
It fell. A mass wasting event. You know, rock fall didn't go far, did it?
No.
Did it go very far?
No.
No. Whole side of the mountain gateway and landed on top of what? What was already here?
More rock.
Lateral moraine, right? And so we saw that lateral moraine. How old do you think this rock fall is? Relative age?
Less than 10,000 years old.
Less than 10,000. Because when was the glacier here?
Over
10,000 years ago? 4,000 years ago?
20,000.
Okay,
13 million.
probably by the time it was in this little side valley, maybe like 15,000 years ago. So this has to be younger than 15,000, right? Because if the till's already here, and the till's 15,000 years old when it was hanging out in this valley, this has got to be 15,000 or less. It could have happened right away, and this is really common in glacial valleys. You get an oversteepening of the walls due to the carving of the glacier, so it makes the rock walls steeper, and then once the ice is gone, there's no back pressure holding the walls together, and if they tend to be fractured, like limestone has lots of fractures, the freeze-thaw action, finally this whole thing collapses. So we have one on this side, and if you can point to the other side, Quinn, we have a rock fall on the other side of the valley that came down in between where those trees are. So again, how old do you think this is? Is there any vegetation growing? Is there any soil that's formed?
And there's some trees there.
There's a few trees.
A few bushes.
Yeah, a few bushes.
About 10,000.
Some lichen. So do you think this could even be younger than 10,000 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's no soil development except for a little bit of lichen filling in. So this could even be less than 5,000 years old. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, geologic terms, it's very young. And we want to look around and see what sort of fossils we can find in here. We already saw some rugose corals. So we're going to walk along the length of this rock fall below the cirque, or the scarp I should say. And as you're looking up, what do you notice up there?
Big circle.
Yeah, perfect bowl, right? It's like a half bowl. Nicely carved out. And again, the ice would have filled about 1/3 to 2/5 of the bowl. So the upper part, right, is too steep to hold the ice. It was down in that basin, you know, roughly 1/3 to like 2/5 full.
Is it like kind of where you can see rocks, outcrop? Is that where the trim line is? Up there?
Yeah, so the trim line, if we go straight up the back, right, it's smooth, and then sort of smoothish rock, and then it gets really jagged, like ridges sticking out, like there's much more features. So it goes from really featured, and then there's that band of relatively low feature rock. Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's got some horizontal bands in it, and then above it it's really featured. So you can see the trim line in the valley there, and you can see it wraps around on either side. And then as we come down the valley, can you find the trim line? You should be able to almost draw it with your eye on the side of the wall. There's a little section that has sort of been cut away versus the steep stuff up to the left here. Remember, it's below that over there, so it's below this knob and in the valley. So
It's been coming like right where those trees are, just above those trees.
yeah, just above those trees, sort of in the middle of the trees, there's a little bench on the side of the slope. Just a little change in slope. It's like talus, 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 little bench, and it keeps coming down. You see that change in slope? So right above the trees, and then you can follow it along the edge of the talus slope. All right, so we got a couple more stops, and then we'll fly the drone. Where do you have battery on that?
11.
Percent?